Hello, landmines and jellyfish. Welcome back to Knives, I guess. And you pour your milk, then you pour the cereal, then you put it in the bowl. That's how it's supposed to be done, folks. But I've gotten to carry the Kizer Cyberblade for a few days now, so I just came in here to give you the review on it. And we'll take a look at this thing first. So you've got some green micarta here that's kind of faded out. You got a pocket clip, which is tip up. That is the Lord's carry. And you got a thumb hole, so let's flick the hole. You got a blade that's just a hair over 2 inches long. And this thing was kind of interesting. Like, you know, you take a look at it, and you can see what it was inspired by. Shapes. And you got a liner lock here. And, you know, it was weird. You know, I had an initial concern that the little glass breaker here would be an issue digging in and causing irritation. That really wasn't it. It's the corners on the dingus end right here. Those are quite sharp and not broken down, and those dug in quite a bit, which was kind of weird. I did clip it into my pocket, moved it out of the waistband, and it still was hitting my hand and kind of causing some irritation there when I was trying to reach into my back pocket. And like when I walk, my hands tend to graze my pockets anyways. So I'm not 100% sure whether that was these corners of the glass breaker there. If I swap the glass breaker out, maybe it'll be a bit more carryable in the pocket. But, you know, it's definitely one of those things that I bought for the looks. And, you know, after carrying it, I'm not sure I'd spend like 90 to 120 bucks on it. The 35 that I spent on it, however, was a good price for me. You know, this thing is definitely a fidget toy, it's a desk toy, and it's a package slayer. Now, going into the plastic on the pallets, it cut that reasonably well. The edge cut the copy paper super nicely out of the box. I fed it like 2 pieces of cardboard, and it really didn't like being pushed through cardboard. I'm not sure why, but it just kind of wedged in there, and I had to really force it to get it in there. That kind of surprised me. I expected something a lot slicier out of it, but the geometry is kind of obtuse. That's a kind of thick piece of steel for a blade this small and a pretty short grind up into the flat. So that probably had something to do with it. But let's see how the edge is now. Like I said, I've fed it 2 pieces of cardboard. I fed it some plastic off of the pallets, and I used it to chip it some super glue that overran on something I was working on my truck. The truck's a bit of a beater, so super glue is kind of necessary on some parts. But let's see how it do. Yeah, it's not as smooth as it was out of the box. Yeah, that's weird. Like, this is supposed to be M390. It's supposed to take a lot more than what I did to it. I mean, it's still okay sharp. It's not even really shaving either. So I'm really left to wonder about that. There's a little bit of hair on there, but I'm left to wonder, like, why did it dull out that fast unless there was just a burr from the factory that I knocked off? That's a little confusing. Like, M390 is supposed to be a lot more durable than that. I mean, I've had knives that take a lot more than this and, you know, don't complain about it. So at some point I may sit down and sharpen it up and see if that was just a factory edge issue and I knocked like a really, really fine burr off the apex. The Kizers that I've had so far, the factory edge hasn't been the best. Like, the factory edge doesn't compare to cold steel. It doesn't compare to a lot of other knives I've had. It's just not the finest factory edge. So that's definitely something that I am a little confused by and a little disappointed by. But again, for 35 bucks, that was the right price for this. For 90, 120, I sure wouldn't buy it, especially after not handling it for a couple of days. Now, the fidget factor, through the roof. You know, you can sit there and flip it open and close, like, and this is one where you don't even realize you've been sitting there and flicking it like this until you look down and it's like, I've been doing this for 10 solid minutes. I mean, that is fantastic on it. And I've taken phone calls from work and just sat there and flipping this thing open and closed and didn't even think about it until I looked down. It's like, I've been doing this the whole phone call. And, of course, it's going to be a package, like, for opening packages, yeah, fantastic. I mean, it looks cool. It's got the right profile for just getting this tip in there and zipping through stuff. You know, like, it's again, it's great for a desk. It's great for, you know, showing people, hey, look at this cool thing. But for daily carry, yeah, maybe not so much. There's a lot of things I have that I like a whole lot better than this. And, again, just that edge taking that much deterioration is confusing. That is so weird. Yeah, like, it's still a good cut, but it's not like it was. So that was kind of my experience with this thing. Again, if you can catch them on sale for cheap, definitely jump on it. I wouldn't recommend spending full price on it. Like, there's just too many things that were disappointing about this for me to be willing to spend that kind of money on something like this. You know, the M390 blade had my attention, but just the amount of deterioration that I've experienced with this thing is, again, it's confusing. Now, that being said, it looks like it's a fairly steep angle on the grind right here, so that just may have been it. You know, really, really fine edge out of the factory on that apex. And then once that apex took a little bit of abuse and rolled back a little bit, it's just not like it was. It may need to be sharpened and reprofiled. And I really don't want to reprofile M390 because on the manual sharpener, I'll be down here for 3 days. And with the work sharp that I showed you guys the other day, I can't keep this corner right here on the Tanto crisp. I can't keep it like it was. It'll get rounded out. I don't know how to do that with that work sharp. So this has been my experience with this thing, you know, and I'll say it again, if you can get one for cheap, jump on it. And these issues may be why it's being discontinued there. I don't know. That was a really, really steep discount on it. But that's the Kizer Cyberblade. All that being said, thanks for looking at my crap. Subscribers, y'all are still coming in. It's awesome. I love it. Thank you so much. Comments, I love some feedback. Let me have it. Let me know what you think about this thing after the review. All that being said, y'all have a nice day.